I'm motherfucking FBS. We got beef, you best be stressed. I've exposed all these clowns up and down from east to west. Mob tube is my house and you're nothing but a guest. All you bitches can't stop watching me, you're all fucking obsessed. So get up off my dick and stop talking shit, or hop into the chat and grab the motherfucking link. Yeah, I'm the only motherfucker on MobTube who isn't miserable and lonely or a phony from SlobTube. It's a community full of misfits and there's unity among dipshits. I'm always under scrutiny and I'm about to go ballistic, cause I'm losing my mind, constantly dealing with this sick shit. Everywhere you look, there's another fucking nitwit, acting like he's big shit, talking about he's in the mob, he should get his wig split. Fake gangsters, straight wanksters, I'd like to thank yous, cause of your never-ending bullshit. I'm laughing all the way to the bank, cause I'm motherfucking FBS. We got beef, you best be stressed. I've exposed all these clowns up and down from east to west. MobTube is my house and you're nothing but a guest. All you bitches can't stop watching me, you're all fucking obsessed. So get up off my dick and stop talking shit, or hop into the chat and grab the motherfucking link. There's scumbags of all types in this disgusting fucking place, whining about all their gripes while probably smoking on that bass. These fucking punks stay talking shit every single day and night, then get all fucking offended when I decide to stay and fight. They're a bunch of pussy cowards who will attack your family first before you even speak their name, cause they're the motherfucking worst. They seem to think this shit's a game till they get verbally pistol whipped. They only have themselves to blame, but they'll still give you a guilt trip. Ain't it a motherfucking shame? You should have just kept your mouth shut, but you talk shit and got flamed. Now I virtually burned your house up. Welcome to motherfucking MobTube. This is what this platform became. Yes, I'm motherfucking FBS. We got beef, you best be stressed. I've exposed all these clowns up and down from east to west. MobTube is my house and you're nothing but a guest. All you bitches can't stop watching me, you're all fucking obsessed. So get up off my dick and stop talking shit, or hop into the chat and grab the motherfucking link. Yizzo, and I'm out. Fucking punks. I ain't the one. Salute!
Tommy Wells has his gun out. He's pointing the gun, and all of a sudden, I see this woman.
They say it's on every single station. They're saying that Daddy died.
He said there was an accident and your father is no longer with us.
In real life, I'm not like that.
And the Mario test was disgusting.
One night I jumped out of a car doing 60 miles an hour because I was addicted.
Salute, MobTube.
Yizzo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for the late show today. I had some other shit going on. But the fuck am I looking at here? Mr. Anonymous number 2 sent $20 and said, send my regards to Mr. Anonymous number 1. I will do so. Thank you very much. Sorry about the intro there, too. I was a little slow. I didn't have my finger on the trigger, so to speak. Sheila or Shila's? I'm never sure. Shila's, we'll say. Spellbound Creations. What the fuck? Shut up, fatty. Nice to see you, Shyla. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I didn't have an intro ready to go. So that's why I wound up putting one of the old ones on. Well, they're all old. But, you know, the ones with the interviews. I wasn't ready. I had to grab the first one I could find. Yes, Armand. He's a beast, bro. I was just talking to a skater about him. Yeah, he's a fucking beast, man. Yeah, I'll do him soon. Don't worry, Shiloh. With the Epstein stuff, there's one coming. No worries. Salute to everybody. I don't want to do shout outs because there's a lot of fucking people in the chat. I look at it now and it's like, Jesus, did I really used to do this when I would start a show with 250 live viewers? I'd spend like 15 minutes shouting people out. I can't believe you guys even fucking stuck around. Bam is a douchebag, but he's a legend. Yeah. So, yeah, 142, not bad. Guys, please donate today. I'd appreciate it. Put a big smile on my face. Now, what I'm going to do is something I know, Ball. I know something that I guess you could say is a long time coming. Okay. I saw it. It was great. Yeah. I can't believe you didn't know that was Bam. Anyway, this has been a long time coming. I don't know how to go about this. It's one of the reasons I did such a late show today. Because as soon as I woke up, I was bombarded. Who's Big Lou? With messages and stuff about a certain person. Okay. I was actually going to do a morning show because I got up at 9 o'clock. I had a tattoo appointment at 12. So I was just chilling until then. I was going to do a show, but once I heard all this stuff, it was like, all right. Oh, for real? Oh, damn, that's crazy. What happened? Shit. That sucks, man. Yeah, no, I know who you mean now. I believe he used to come on here every now and then, right? I believe so. Oh, it's I'll show it to you when it's all healed and stuff, but it came out beautifully. Sally, $10. We support you. Please match. Thank you, Sally. And as you guys know, Sally is one of the biggest sponsors of the show. So when she says match, you must match. FBS, he had some issues, I guess. Not sure. Well, that's a shame. Rest in peace, Lou. All right. So that I don't know what to do now because I wound up being all over the place. I had a plan, but no. This is very difficult for me, guys. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do this show. That's why I waited all day. This morning, I was like, I can't do a show yet because I got to think about this and what I'm going to do. And then this afternoon, all afternoon, I was thinking about it. And, I just decided, well, I'll push it, or I'll put it off as long as possible. I'll push the show back as long as I have to, or as much as I have to until I come to a decision. But unfortunately, there's really no decision to be made here. I knew all day that this was going to have to happen. I just didn't know how I was going to go about it. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? It's been so sad seeing the chat go from 600 members to 200. Here, you mean? 600 members? Are you speaking as Jim now? I'm not sure. Highlights, Gail. Oh, what the fuck? Don't call her names, okay? Yeah, obviously we're talking about. I'm going to talk about Jessie, okay? I don't want anybody to call her names or any of that shit. Okay, there's going to be no abusing Jessie. Yeah, Armand. LTB, not a good time. So anyway, ball. Uh-oh. Sorry, bro. You might want to leave for this. Guys, I'm going to be struggling throughout this whole thing. You got to understand, this is not something I want to do. I've been putting this off a long time. Basically, what I'm going to say here today is I'm going to, I think it's time that I have to put some space between me and Jessie, okay? And I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons for that. And Jessie might get mad at me. She might flip out. I don't know. I don't want her to do that. I don't want to hurt Jessie in any way. I really don't. Jessie is a sweet person to me. I think she causes herself a lot of issues, and it's to the point now where she's causing me a lot of issues. And I got enough fucking problems, guys. You know what I mean? I really do. So I'll go over some of the things just to let you know, all the stuff that's been building. Kira, 10 pounds matching Sally. Thank you, Kira. Thank you so much. Shyla Spellbound Creations, $10. I always appreciate that you're honest, that you're here for money. So here you go. Well, thank you. Yes, I certainly am. I certainly am. I don't know what else would be worth being here for. So anyway, I think the first issue with me was, and by the way, people are going to say, well, why didn't you call Jessie and talk to her about this? I've kind of talked to Jessie about these things here and there. This is how I do things. I'll tell you why, because everything is done publicly. So if things are done to me publicly, I feel I should address them publicly, because you got me looking like a fool constantly. I have to, I don't know, save face a little bit I'm not just going to do something secretly. And you know what I'm saying? So, no, Pat, I honestly don't think Jessie had any intentions on hurting me. I think she's just, I don't know. All right, for example, SoFlo, when me and him were really going at it, he was really going at my fucking family. It was the last time me and him really went at it, I believe, or one of the last times. He was really going after my family hard. And, yeah, William, I don't, there's no need to even tell me. I know, bro. I'm fully aware of what happened. Yeah. It's like Tony Pizza does every day. I know. He's a real creative guy, that dude. So anyway, I keep losing my train of thought. Well, me and SoFlo were going at it real bad. She had SoFlo on her show a couple of times. Okay. Now, I'll tell you what really, no, I don't think she's a bad person. I don't. I think, let me just say this first. I think Jessie's issue is there are certain content creators on here who want to be liked by everybody. Okay. Or they at least want to get along with everybody. And those are dangerous people to be friends with. Because you know the expression, a friend to all is a friend to none. Okay? I've gone through this with a lot of people. She had SoFlo on, and of course, I think some people called her out for it, and I said something to her about it on numerous occasions. And she really thought nothing of it. Like, it was no big deal. You know what I mean? That she had SoFlo on him. And listen, she's her own person. She could do whatever she wants. But if you're my friend, you're my friend. That doesn't mean you can't be friends with anybody else. But it means that if we're friends and somebody attacks Jessie's family, you know what I'm saying? And I'm fully aware of it and whatever else. Somebody's going at her viciously. I will defend Jessie. It's just who I am. Okay. Now, you guys know me. If things slip by or I don't catch them right away or I find out about a month later, I don't know what to tell you. I don't listen to this shit all the time. But if it's brought to my attention that somebody's attacking her family viciously, I can assure you that, there will be no conversations with the person attacking her, I believe one time, I brought Maureen on here when a bunch of people were fighting with her, and I think Jessie had been fighting with her too. And I know that Maureen came on here specifically just to talk about. I think this was the time with the Nick Romano thing. I'm pretty sure that's all that was discussed. That was the end of it. Okay, so if you want to use that, it's up to you. That's how real I am, that I'm even pointing out shit that maybe, you could use against me, whatever. But Jessie knows and everybody else knows. If you're my friend, look, I just got involved in a beef with some dickhead over, defending Frank. That's the way I am. All right. I'll always defend my friends, especially if your family's being attacked. Jessie brought SoFlo on while he was attacking my family, I believe in her chat. And even if it wasn't happening in her chat, because like I said, my memory sucks. She had just done it. Or I'm sorry, I got another message. He had just done it on his show, like that day. Okay. And he was doing it every day. So I was like, I talk about feeling stabbed in the fucking heart. Cause it's like, wow, man, I did everything I could to be friends with Jessie, I really did like to be a friend to her, I'm saying. And it just felt like, you know, a knife in the back. So, but I let it slide like I do with a lot of shit because I'm not Jesse's boss. You know, I just, and I don't expect people to respect, you know, what I require, you know, as far as a level of loyalty from my friends. Okay. Because I do, you know, I don't want to be friends with anybody who can't be loyal, you know? And I don't mean, again, I don't even care if you talk to people I beef with a little bit, whatever. But when a guy is viciously going after my family and trying everything in his power to hurt them, when he's doxing family members and stuff, and you have him on the show and you defend him to some extent, that's a big problem, man. That's a big fucking problem. Like I'll tell you, this is how much I care about Jesse, is that I took this long to say something. Any fucking buddy else, the minute SoFlo jumped on her panel, I would have went live. Jumped on their panel, whatever. I would have went live, went ballistic. But, you know, I understand Jesse. I don't know. There was times when she didn't want to be involved in a lot of the beef stuff. Lately, it seems like she's involved in all of it. You know, I understood, like, okay, you know, listen, people are scared of SoFlo and stuff. You know, there are people who will, you know, put people they're scared of on their panel just so they don't wind up getting into something with them. Whatever. You know, I'll even make excuses for my friends sometimes. And me and SoFlo don't fight anymore, but I'm talking about in the past. Okay. So that was just too much. And I started to, you know, feel some type of way, so to speak, then. And then I believe she brought him on again. I mean, it was crazy. And then she would just like be defending him. She's just defending SoFlo like all over the place. And I'm like, what? Didn't this guy just go on like Google Earth and drive around like my daughter's old house, her old address? Like, that's kind of serious. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to think, but like I said, I came to the conclusion she wants to be friends with everybody. You know, there was a time when I couldn't stand Angel and everybody knew it. And Jesse was getting close to Angel, but it's like, okay, you don't have to follow a whole list of rules to be my friend. I'm just saying. And nothing vicious was going on between me and Angel at the time. But you know me, guys. I can't give you a timeline. I can't tell you every different thing. You guys can tell me if you want. Put it in the chat. There was a bunch of different things. I don't remember shit. You know that. There's a bunch of different things that happen. And it's like, you know, I don't know, man. And people blowing up my fucking phone every day. People coming in the chat every day with stuff. Let me just see something. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, well, yeah, and she does know. You know what I mean? She does know how this platform works. Yeah, bro. And I'm not even trying to, Matt. I'm not trying. I swear to God, I'm not being a dick to her, trashing her. I will not say a bad word about her during this show. I'm just telling you how I feel about the things that have been going on. And it did seem at times like maybe Jesse was deliberately, I don't know. You know, I'm used to people being secretly resentful of me and stuff like that for whatever reason. Maybe, you know, people are doing shit deliberately to fucking get me involved in shit. You know what I mean? Get me involved in problems I didn't even have before. And the thing is about some people, and this is why people like Jesse have to be careful, because some of these people, like, they'll deliberately try to buddy up to you if me and them are enemies, because then they know that the inevitable result will be this. You know, so that's why you got to be careful. I look at it like this, guys. There's a whole bunch of teams on MobTube, as dumb as that is. There are. Stick with your fucking team. You know, because chances are, if you snake them with somebody, you know what I mean, and that person is using you just for that reason, they'll snake you at some point. You know what I mean? The person you know what I'm saying. I think. I don't know. Like, in other words, if somebody is using Jesse, like somebody who has no interest in Jesse, all of a sudden starts taking an interest in Jesse when me and a person are beefing. I'm saying anyone. And then, you know, forget it. Forget that part. I'm all over the fucking place. You just got to be careful who you're dealing with, because some people don't give a shit about you. They just know that getting close to you or being your buddy or something could wind up, causing trouble between you and a person they hate. And then it's like you got nowhere to go now. So you should always stick with your crew, with your team. I suggest that to anybody. And listen, a lot of people do different stuff like this. You know what I mean? Where they trade their loyal friends in for brand new people, or they kick good people to the curb because there's somebody else they want to get close to now. A bunch of people do this stuff, and I'm not saying that Jesse deliberately tried to hurt any of us. I really don't think she did deliberately. I think the problem is, like I said, when you have a team, stick to it. And when you don't, when you venture out and start fucking around with other teams, your original team, the team that cares about you most, will eventually start to walk away. You know what I mean? Eventually start to walk away. That's why, guys, if I went anywhere on YouTube, any fucking where, to do any type of content, if you guys follow me there, you'll always be the most important people to me because you're always with me. Nobody will ever get in the way of my friendship with any of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you never let anybody get in the way of your friendship with me. So, and guys, I know this sounds like, a special ed student trying to give some sort of book report in front of class or something. I can't help it. I don't know what to say. I've been struggling with this all day. And there's things I got to get out. They're just going to be all over the fucking place. There's going to be no linear, it's like, it's going to be a little bit here, a little bit there, then back to this, then over there to that, Sonny Grosso, the song father, do what you gotta, but the drama follows her around. Well, that's what I mean. Matt, that's what I mean. Jesse's been getting herself involved with all different types of people. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, this Jim Terry thing was just danger. It was a flashing red sign, danger, danger. I knew it because Jim don't give a fuck about Jess. Come on, man. I heard him insulting her on Angel's show like a couple of weeks ago. And listen, I mean, it's not like he was calling her a cunt, but he was making fun of her appearance. And I'm like, Jesse wouldn't take that from nobody. Why is she taking that from him? Because it's all in good fun? It's not. He's trying to insult you. You know what I mean? He's doing it with a smile on his face. So, I don't know. I know who I am. I know who you guys are that have always been here. We care about Jesse. These people come along like that. They don't. But for some reason, Jesse wanted to get close to this Jim guy. Wanted to get close to him. I don't know why. And she seemed super excited anytime he would come on her panel and stuff. Then he would just jump off her panel and disappear, and she'd be looking for him. I never understood why she had any interest in this dude. Never understood. But again, it was bound to end badly. It was. So somehow I got involved now. And I'm hearing things I don't even know what I'm hearing. I wake up this morning and somebody sends me a clip of some troll channel or something. And it seems to be some sort of, let me go down to the bottom here. What do you mean you can't have an opinion, Mike? LTB, I'm not bringing anybody on right now, bro. I'm not bringing anybody on right now. Sorry. LTB shows up once a year. You're at the worst possible time. Oh, really? Okay, so yeah. So listen, and this is now I totally forgot what I was saying. So just bear with me, okay? While I sound retarded throughout this whole show. I know it. I can't help myself for some reason. I have no plan. Listen, I'm not here to insult her anyway. I don't know about all that past stuff, and I don't care. People say crazy shit about me. None of it's true. So I don't, unless I look into something for myself. No, Pat, no need right now. Then I'm not going to say nothing about it. Jesse just doesn't want to fight with people. It becomes exhaustion after a while. The content creators fight, make up, and fight again. The viewers are expected to take sides. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's kind of how it is. You know? I know she doesn't want to fight with people, but being, friendly with somebody is a little different than like forcing some sort of friendship or relationship, you know? I know Jesse always wanted to be close to Angel. Nobody can deny that. And I think JT, her becoming close to JT was a way for her to become close to Angel. I don't know. But what I was going to say is I'm going to go to the bottom here. I wish I could read all your comments, but I can't. Hold on. Yes. Please remind me to talk about that because that was definitely a breaking point. Yeah, they did. I mean, people knew what I was going to say before I even said it today somehow. Yeah, without a doubt, bro. And I don't hold that against you. You know what I mean? Not at all. But me and Jesse were pretty close too. You know, like I don't know. Thank you for being a new member, Balla. Jesse Roth is the most obnoxious person in the community. Thinking, Balla, $5. Damn, she was my main hoe. Come on, man. All right, I'm gonna go the way to the bottom because the question I've been trying to ask you for 10 minutes is, what did I hear today on that troll channel? Was that a private conversation between Jesse and Jim Terry? Or was that something that happened on a show? It certainly sounded like a private conversation, even if there was other people involved. Sounded like a recorded phone call to me. What can you guys tell me about that? Timothy Sullivan, $2. Why am I blocked, Jesse? I don't know. Thanks for the $2 and the $5 yesterday. I forgot to shout out. I'll unblock you. I swear to God, I will. I'm getting there. Guys, feel free to donate, please. Jesse is trying. What? Yeah, of course. Jesse is trying to up her views from 4 to 8. Shut up, man. You guys ain't shit. Yeah, I think that's part of it too, man. I think Jesse feels that somebody tell me what the fuck I was listening to earlier, first of all, but I think Jesse feels like people have been turning their backs on her for a while. Now, I don't know about that. I never talked to anybody who said they're turning their back on Jesse, but I've heard her mention things like that. I think the problem is, you have a group of friends here that you've always been with right here at this channel and your channel and, any friends of ours channels, if we ever have any. Mike Slick, Chicago sometimes, whoever. When you stab the main person in the back, which would be me, even if you're not trying to do that, Jesse, even if you were just trying to be nice to SoFlo, that people who are friends with me and loyal with me are going to start to walk away. You know what I mean? It's the worst thing anybody could do. Guys, remember too, especially with this channel, if you are somebody who collects donations, this is where the donors are. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty much one of the only places on all of MobTube. So, I know people try to branch out because they want a new audience. They want more donors, stuff like that. It's not worth it. You will always lose in the end. Always. You'll wind up losing the people that were always there for you. So I saw a little stuff happening, but I just didn't have the heart to, separate myself from Jesse. The reason I got to do it now is because I can't take any fucking more. Do you know I'm fighting with this dickhead right now? At least he's fighting with me. And I got more fucking texts about Jesse than I did about him today and yesterday and every day. But so many of you have reached out to me with your concerns and stuff. And it's like, don't worry about it. I always say, because I got a lot of love for Jesse. I do. And so does Miss Can't Be Wrong. And so do many of you guys. I'll never say a bad word about Jesse unless for some reason she attacks me. I'm just putting out there what I saw and how I feel. So I don't know, why people do that. Listen, trying to branch out in life is usually a good thing. On MobTube, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. And I think SoFlo is really friends with Jesse. Let me make that clear. Let me get back to what I was trying to say earlier when it got all convoluted and fucked up. I think SoFlo does care about Jesse. I honestly do. What I was trying to get at earlier is if SoFlo didn't, right? And he popped up on her panel, he might very well be doing that just to get me mad at Jesse. And then now we ain't friends no more, and SoFlo don't give a shit, you know? But I'm not saying that's the case, because I think SoFlo always liked Jesse. But I'm saying you open yourself up to stuff like that when you're willing to just let people's enemies on the panel and stuff. A lot of the time, they're just using you to piss somebody else off, you know, or to get you in a fight with them. You know, everybody wants to see me lose all my friends on here and shit. So they like to do stuff like that. They hate anybody who supports me, you know. So you'll always have people, trolls and stuff who will try to do shit like that. So, and then quite honestly, this is what I meant to say too. When I asked Jesse about this, about having SoFlo on the show, she said something along the lines of, well, I'm friends with you both. And I believe she said that like on her show or something too. Now that, guys, that pisses me off to no end, because I'll tell you why. If you are my friend for, say, I don't know, 2 years. Yeah, by accident, bro. It was a butt dial. My bad. For, say, 2 years. Okay. And then you start to become friends with somebody else. And then when something pops off, you say, well, I'm friends with you both. Now, I'm not even saying that's an exact time. I think Jesse got cool with SoFlo early on. Not the point. As far as content creators, I guarantee you there's nobody Jesse was closer with than me. And I happen to know for a fact that I'm the one that went out of my way to help her the most. So it's like, how in the fuck could you ever say, well, you're both my friend? No. I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? It's like when I was best friends with Gunsmoke, for example. Okay, we were tight. So say we hadn't met Lefty yet. And then maybe 6 months after me and Gunsmoke get tight, we meet Lefty. And then I start to get a little close to Lefty, but it's still nowhere near how tight I am with Gunsmoke. I'm just using these names as an example. If something popped off, I did something wrong or something, you know, involving the two of them, and I said, well, Gunsmoke, bro, I'm friends with both of you. That's fucked up in my mind. You know what I mean? If I'm tighter with one person than I am with the other, that person comes first. Period. The end. That person comes first. So you will never, unless I met you both at the same time and I have the equal amount of interaction with both of you, you will never hear me say, well, I'm friends with both of you, so I'm not getting involved. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't do that. So she said you started with that guy in Miami. When he asked her, she agreed with him. She said I started with SoFlo, or SoFlo asked her and she agreed with SoFlo. I don't know. Pat, I'll tell you why I'm not. And that's why I'm doing this as gently and politely as possible. Jesse has done some things to make a complete fool out of me lately. So, unless I want to continue looking like an asshole because all these things are taking place and I remain friends with somebody, how else would I do it? Like if I call Jesse up and just have this conversation with her, nobody else knows, and I look like an asshole every day, and people think that whatever Jesse's doing is somehow, you know, a spit in my face, and I'm not doing nothing about it. You know what I'm saying, Pat? That's why I'm doing this shit the way I'm doing it. I just, you know, I put everything out there. I got to be honest. I got to be honest about shit. Don't get mad at me, anybody. I mean, what do you expect? You know, things happen publicly on here. She brought SoFlo on her show when I was her, you know, probably her best content creator friend publicly. You know what I'm saying? She did whatever's going on with this Jim Terry publicly. And any other thing that happened where, you know, that Like you guys are telling me about stuff now I didn't know about. You know, all those things. So it's like, it's not really fair to me to just do it privately then. And like, you know what I mean? If Jesse was anybody else, I'd be going ballistic right now, but I'm not. Okay. I'm just bringing up things that have bothered me and what, you know, brought this all on, you know, it finally just came to a head. Anyway, whatever I was saying, that's my take on that. This thing I heard today, I don't know. I got to go back through your answers. Whatever it was, I guess it was on some troll channel. Somebody sent me the link, and it was I don't know. But it sounded to me like a private phone call. It was Jim Terry and Jesse talking, and Jesse was, you know, God, I already forgot. Jesse was talking about they were having a conversation about the Frank thing, and Jesse was just giving in to him, like what you said. Somebody earlier just said about how yeah, I know. Somebody said about how Angel agreed with SoFlo that I actually started with him or something. Well, it's kind of like, this is kind of the same thing. Like, I think Jesse feels pressure and she just gives in. And like on this phone call, she was basically agreeing with Jim or conceding the point, I don't know, that it was Frank that made those calls. And that started all of this, guys. All this bullshit with this guy. And let me tell you, like I've gotten all types of theories about what's going on here and how, was it planned? Somebody attacked Frank, so I'll go after them and then we can have a beef. I don't know. And quite honestly, I don't give a fuck. I've been through it all on here. All I know is that some troll told this guy, he deliberately lied to this guy to get him in a beef with me. He told him that whoever called Jim Terry's parents, that was Frank, knowing that I would stand up for Frank. So some troll is laughing his balls off right now. And Jim Terry did that for him. You know what I mean? It's so goofy. And that's one of the reasons, as of right now, I don't know if I'll be talking about Jim anymore. I don't know if I won't. But I know that I don't like to give in to trolls. Like this was a planned thing. And I feel like Jesse made it worse because when I really got heated is when I went into that guy's chat the other day and I saw Jesse say, I didn't know it was Frank. This is what I mean about your friends. No. I know it's not Frank. That's the answer. I don't care what you say, Jim. It ain't Frank. That's the answer. You know what I mean? Unless listen, I'm not saying lie for anybody, but Jesse, all you got to do is know Frank to know that's not him. I don't give a fuck if the person sounded identical to Frank. Frank wouldn't do that. He doesn't bother people like that. He just doesn't. So I feel like that sold Frank out and it threw me right into an unwanted beef with some fucking guy I don't even know. And I almost feel like that was the plan a little bit because like I said, I'm used to people, they become jealous or resentful or something, and they do passive aggressive shit to hurt me. I don't think Jesse wanted to hurt me. Like I said in the beginning, I do get paranoid sometimes, and people tell me things that I don't know about. I start adding shit up in my head, and I don't do pizza math. I usually come up with the right answer. Yeah, it's very, very. I know. Well, it's been awkward, hasn't it, Lisa? Yeah, I don't know too much about that. Jesus Christ. I don't know too much about, and I don't care, honestly. She was always nice to me, Jesse. She was always caring and concerned and stuff like that when I was going through anything. I have no desire or reason to badmouth Jesse. And even if I do have a reason, I'm still not going to do it. I'm just saying this because it's only fair. If you've kind of been making a fool of me in public for months and months and months, I think it's only fair that publicly I get to say, well, that's got to end now. So I'm doing the best I fucking can. I could probably just cut this shit short, but you know me, once I get going. These are all the thoughts I've been having for months now. I got to get it off my fucking chest. And I've asked, I've said things to Jesse at times, like, about having SoFlo. I'll give you an example. Listen, some of you guys, it's astonishing to me that any of you still believe at this point that I'm afraid of anybody on here. Hold on. Oh, okay. What was I saying? I just got a long text message. What was I just saying? Yeah. The fact that you guys believe I'm afraid of anybody still blows my mind. But I think most of you know better. You just like to use that as a way to like insult me or say, oh, look, he pussied out. Listen, man, when that thing with Eric Foss happened with Jesse on here, and I sat here pretty much quietly. You guys automatically, I'm not saying all of you, but certain people automatically came with the, what's up, Jimmy? How you doing, bro? With the, oh, he's scared of Eric. Oh, he's backing down to Eric. He won't defend Jesse with Eric. No. I'll tell you what it is. Well, you know what, Twizzler? I'll tell you what, I kind of give her credit because I think she did remember, but she wouldn't tell him. So I kind of give her credit for that, but I could be wrong. When Eric came on here, Jesse came on first and was accusing Eric of something. Okay. Now you got to understand that I had spoken to Jesse on a few occasions about, getting involved, in beefs with certain people. You got to be willing to know how far people are going to go. It's just best to avoid them sometimes, because again, Jesse isn't me or, SoFlo or Chicago or anybody, Jesse doesn't want all that drama. So you got to be careful because Eric's a guy that's going to come at you no matter who you are. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He's going to come at you one way or another. So I was put in a weird fucking predicament because Jesse was on here talking about Eric and Eric pops up. So how fair is it that I let somebody talk about a dude and when he pops up to confront her about it, I say nothing or I just ignore him. So I brought him on the show and they had it out a little bit. Did I like how names he was calling her and stuff? No. And I spoke up when I had a problem. But you guys don't understand everything. Every time I stand up for a friend, I end up in a war. You know what I mean? Now I have no problem doing that unless I know I'm not getting that in return. This happened after Jesse had SoFlo on her show twice. So I was not going to go ape shit on Eric and get in a war with Eric when I know that when I asked Jesse, why would she have SoFlo on her show? The answer was basically because I'm friends with both of you. Now, I would never say to Jesse, well, I'm friends with both you and Eric because I've known Jesse 1,000 times longer. You know what I mean? So I just said, and plus, listen, I warned Jesse about not getting involved in beefs with certain people. If you are going to accuse this man of something, Eric, right? He's going to pop up and want to confront you. So how does it become my job to be everybody's babysitter if you get yourself involved in something? So everybody's, certain people running around, this is a pussy, scared of Eric. I don't even think Eric would tell you I'm scared of him as far as, I don't think so. Eric knows I go nuts on here and all that shit. Okay. We're all men. We all fight with each other and stuff. It happens all the time. So, it had nothing to do with that. I felt like, I did what Jesse would have done. You know what I mean? And listen, if I went on Jesse's panel, I said so-and-so did this or that, and they popped up, guess what? I'm going to have no choice but to go back and forth with them. So you give what you get in life. And this is why some of this stuff has happened. You guys might not have realized, but, I see, this is the problem. This is why I get mad at people. Okay. I get mad at even Angel, and me and Angel ain't tight like that. But when you bring somebody to this community, eventually they're going to be my fucking problem. You know what I mean? Eventually. That's why when I see Angel with somebody like Jim, I'm like, oh God, what are you doing? Because it won't stay with Angel. In this case, Jesse decided to get tight with Jim. So she dragged him over because Angel kind of has her own thing going on over there. She's got a huge, for MobTube, a huge channel. She does better than any of us. So people can stay isolated to Angel's corner there. But when somebody from like my channel all of a sudden decides to befriend one of these guys who quite obviously is not a good guy from Angel's channel, then boom, it's only a matter of time till you make him my problem. And I feel like this guy was made my problem and Jesse took part in it. Now, and I did. Yeah, I honestly did defend her. I just didn't go ape shit. People expect me to go nuts and just start cursing out Eric. Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I got, Charlie, well, thank you. But, I'm not competing with anyone. All I mean is that we're all beasts. Nobody wants to really deal with any of us. Like, by the way, I'm going to address a couple of things I heard that Jim said, but that's it. I don't care about, you ain't got to tell me about shit he was saying. I don't give a fuck. I heard Eric say on his show that Jim, I guess, made some comment like 6 or 7 people have already asked him to be on their show, like to go after me. Go ahead, Jim. And I dare those people to have you on their show to talk about my family. I dare them to do that. Because let me tell you, nobody whose identity I know is going to do that. Some trolls, sure. But unless they really want to get virtually hurt on this YouTube thing and in life in general, they're probably not going to want to make that mistake. You know what I'm saying? You go on somebody else's show and talk about my family, I'll completely ignore you and I will wreck them and their families. So whatever, man, but do what you want. The only other thing I'll address about Jim, and this is it, is I heard like one line from him today, other than that weird audio recording of him and Jesse. Somebody sent me a clip where he said, in that voice, FBS, if you were in the same room with me, you never say these things to my face. Now, it's funny because yesterday I said pretty much the exact same thing on my show hours earlier. Jim, challenge accepted. Where are we meeting up, bro? You think, I've never stepped to anybody quite as dangerous as Jim Terry. I told you, Jim is not fully aware of who I am yet. Jim, no problem. Whenever you want to meet up. As a matter of fact, I'd rather handle it that way than this way. So you work it out. So it's just me and you. Only me and you. And let's do it. And see if I don't say this shit to your face. Let's see. Eric is defending you and spoke up in your defense this whole situation. Jesse got herself in something that she shouldn't have. You did the right thing. What do you mean? Eric Foss has throughout this Jim thing the last few days? Because honestly, he kind of has, and I appreciate him doing that. I do. If that's what you even meant, I'm so far behind. See, that Sally, that's the thing. That's what I was going to get to. Let me tell you guys, you already know, okay? We were at my brother's. My mom was on hospice. We stepped out for a minute, talking to Kaz on the phone, stepped back in. My mom had passed. Now, I lost my shit. I was crying hysterical. I couldn't even stand still. I was all over the fucking place, as I've described a couple of times already. There was only a few people that I felt needed to know at that very time. Okay? Don was one of them because Don had a friendship with my mom. I don't know if you guys realize that, but when my mom got that horrible news, Don talked to her on the phone a lot. Kaz did too. You know, and Don's always there for me. He's just that type of friend, one of the best friends I've ever had. He's always there to check up on me. He's always concerned. The guy drove here hours just to basically give me a hug and, take me to lunch and talk to me about what happened and stuff. Okay. So one of the first people I told Shannon to call was Don. Of course, there was a couple of family members and stuff first, but after that, And I'll tell you the truth, Don, I love you to death. I'll never understand in a million years why you went into Jesse's chat and told people my mom passed. I don't understand. But if I ever did anything to you in the past, we're even now. That's what I say. I'm not sure why he did that. And I'm getting texts all over the fucking place. Yeah, I know. I'm getting texts all over the fucking place about, I'm like, I think Alex Vela. Well, I appreciate that, Eric. I do. Alex, yeah, I heard some yesterday. Yeah. I really appreciate him for it. What she did. Oh, okay. What she did with Frank was the same as what she did to redheaded stepchild. See, I don't even know about all that. Hold on. Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt. True. Very true. So, I think Alex Vela was the first person that texted me like through Instagram, and he was like, "Bro, my condolences about your mother," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" My mom had just passed away like 15 minutes before. I'm like, how the fuck does anybody know this? Anybody? Like, I hadn't even told Miss Can't Be Wrong yet. I'm like, how the fuck is this possible? And then they just kept coming in. And at first I thought, oh, I put up the post last night that said my nightmare is coming true. Maybe people assume she already passed. But then all of a sudden I just kept getting the same shit. My condolences. And I'm like, what in the fuck? How is this happening? And then I talked to somebody and they said, Jesse's talking about it on her show. And I said, what? How the fuck does Jesse? So I called Jesse and Jesse said, Don came into the chat and put it in the chat. So I'm like, okay, hold on. Sally, $10 FBS in Don's defense. He went to an FBS friendly chat and shared the news. She belittled him in a post. Really? Well, yeah, trust me. I know Don would never do anything to hurt me. I just wasn't ready to tell people yet. I don't think Don realized that because I do put everything out here. But I don't even know if I would have told people from here that day, honestly. My head wasn't in that. I called people that needed, like Don, I have my reasons for calling him. Everybody else I called were people that might have just left right before it happened, or they were planning on getting there, but they hadn't made it yet. I called, to let them know. Like people were coming from out of town and different states and shit. Family. But anyway, I got a little mad at Jesse, but again, it's Jesse. So I said, fuck it. And then all of a sudden, well, actually, I can't even say all of a sudden. I don't even think until a few days ago, I really heard about her going on Angel's panel and talking about this and, crying and doing what she was doing. The reason I found out, and somebody might have told me closer to when my mom passed. I don't remember. I'm sure you can imagine I got other shit on my mind. Plus, I have a terrible memory. But a few days ago, when this whole thing started with Jim Terry, a couple days ago, whatever it was, few, that's when people started bringing it to my attention that he had went up on Angel's panel and talked about my mother's death with Jim Terry on there. So it's like, where do you get the right to do that? And as far as people saying that she made it about her, I don't know. Women in general tend to do that, but sorry guys. But if that's the truth, that makes it even worse. Because I heard she was crying and saying that I was mad at her and stuff. Nobody had the right to talk about my mother's death on somebody else's show. Unless, like, a person or two might have asked me, is it okay if I mention it tonight? Yeah, absolutely. You know, but for Jesse to come from her channel or my channel over to Angel's channel and start talking about the death of my mother, I did not appreciate that. Once I found out about it, I said, wow, that's not cool. That is a very personal thing. And like somebody said, like Sally just said, he went into an FBS friendly chat. Now, I got no problem with Angel or her show. And honestly, I don't even know her whole audience, but there's a lot of people in there I have no problem with. It's no big deal, even if Angel said, you know, and I think she did. FBS's mother passed away. I actually, you know, it was cool because, you know, I know what her intentions were behind it, you know. It was kind of just, you know, like out of concern for me and, you know, stuff like that. You know, just letting people know. But when I hear that Jesse's on there, like, and I didn't hear it yet. Somebody said they want to send it to me. Don't send it to me because I'll go fucking ape shit. Okay. Because it sounds to me like, you know, there was a whole conversation about this with a complete stranger on the fucking panel, a guy like Chim. Forget a complete stranger. You might as well have had Tony Pizza on the panel when you were talking about my mom passing. And Jesse, that's another thing about that guy. I've been saying it for days now. Like, how many fucking times did I tell you? Watch out for this guy. He's bad fucking news. I said it on this show 9 billion fucking times. I don't get involved with that guy because I know what he's all about. You know? So it's like, you don't heed my warnings, even though I'm always right every time without fail, always like around the clock every day, 365 days a year. That's one thing. But then when you I don't know, bring me to his attention or bring him to my attention or somehow get me involved with this guy who I didn't even want you involved with, no less me. And you do it initially by having a conversation on a panel he's on about my mother passing. You realize all this happened before I even had time to sit down and type a post about it? And the only reason I typed that post is because it was spreading like fucking wildfire. And I thought, well, since everybody else is talking about it, let me see if I can fit myself in there some way and talk about my mom passing before, you know, the whole entire fucking community does. It's just, you know, and guys, come on, man. One thing you can't say about me is you can't ever deny the love I have for my fucking mother. Like, you know, this is... It's not even like your average person loses their mother. I've gone over this. And I'm not minimizing that. I'm just saying we were a lot closer than most. So, you know, I'm going to feel some type of way about all this shit. I mean, the conversation to some extent should have been off limits. Mentioning it, sending condolences, asking people to pray, cool. Having an entire conversation about it with a guy that you know I don't trust and I don't like and I don't want nothing to do with. That fucking drives me crazy. And I got to stop talking about that part because it's actually starting to piss me off now. Yeah, no, I know. A lot of people were. Sally, thank you for that $10, by the way. Keep donating, guys. Come on, bring it. Jesse is trying to be a friend to everyone and a friend to everyone is a friend to no one. Well, that's the problem, man. And listen, guys, this is not my first friend that's done this. You know, I'll tell you guys the same thing I always told my daughter. If you have one good friend in your life, a lifelong friend, you're luckier than most. Hang on to that person. That's why my daughter's friends are all of her closest friends she's been friends with since she was a baby. I'm talking about kids me and her mother used to babysit. Like, they've been together forever, their whole lives. That's what you should do. You know what I mean? There's not many people out there that are going to be a true friend to you. And Jesse, I was a true friend to you. No doubt about it. And I think everybody here was too. So it you know, that shit hurt me and bothered me. And, you know, I'm never going to get that off my mind. The fact that this conversation went on Angel's show. Now, I went to Angel's show before I wrote that post and I heard Angel announce it, and I was fine with that, you know. But I didn't know about that whole conversation until just recently. So that bugs the shit out of me. I don't, Tony Gruesome, I don't believe she has any intention to hurt me. Just like I have no intention to hurt her. But who knows? It was kept from me. Yeah, that makes sense. Angel did a show that night, and she and others on the panel passed along their condolences. They moved on, and 3 hours later, Jesse asked that Angel drop the link so she could make it about herself. Yeah, I don't like that, man. That's not right. That's not right. It wasn't even about me, for fuck's sake. It was about my mom. You know what I mean? Like, that was not a cool thing to do, you know? And that was really, I think, the last straw. I like, once I found out about that a few days ago, but then today, when I started getting all these texts and calls, and I listened to this thing, and I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Like, why are you even having a conversation with this guy about one of our friends? Frank is one of the kindest, most generous people I've ever met in my life. I mean, you would have to torture me. I still wouldn't give you his fucking information. I still wouldn't even play along with the conversation. You know what my words would be, Jim? You talk about Frank, that's it. Never speak to me again. And Jim probably wouldn't even give a shit, honestly. But at least it would show something, you know, about you. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. But yeah. Well, it was, I knew my mom was passing. So I was saying, you know, I meant she's dying. I didn't mean she had died already, you know. So. She actually did do that shit regarding Angel. No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Matty R. $20. Not worth it surrounding yourself with troublemakers, whether intentional or unintentional, always trying to make it about. I'm sure the next word is yourself. It got cut off. Yeah, I know. Thank you, brother. That's the problem, man. It's like, guys, you know why I got rid of, so to speak, so many of my friends is because that was it. I had friends that insisted, no matter what he did to them, on constantly trying to develop friendships with Tony Pizza, for fuck. No matter how many times I said, don't do that. There's a million reasons not to. And one of them is that he abused both our families and especially mine and never seems to want to stop. You know, I've had friends, other friends who I've seen, you know, making, you know, that wanted to team up with the worst people, sometimes for the worst reasons. You know, like, you know, the person's a lowlife, but you want to do some low life shit so you could use another low life. You know what I mean? Like, I got rid of a lot of friends because I don't need their trouble, and they're surrounding themselves with troublemakers. You know what I mean? That's, I was pushed to that point with a lot of people. So that's what this started to become. It's like every week Jesse's involved in some new drama. Somehow it always lands right on my fucking shoulders. You know, and now this horse shit. You know, so sometimes you don't know where the good intentions lie. She posted she was doing a tribute show for your mom, but we haven't even heard from you yet. It makes you wonder, that's all. You know what, though? I got to say, she might have asked me about that before she even posted it. I feel like she asked me after she posted it or something, but she might have asked me before she posted that, and I might have told her it was okay. I don't remember exactly, so I don't want to say. Yes, no, she made it about her. Well, that's not cool. You know, that's not cool. Yeah. So let me get this straight. Apparently, I don't pay attention well. Don came into her chat and told her, and then I'm not being a dick here, but I know there's not many people in the chat. And then she made a community post about it, my mom passing, or just about she was going to do a tribute show. Bald-Sicilian, she lied about. Well, she said, I lied about it, dude, about her going on Angel's panel. It was about you being possibly mad at her along with the death of your mother. She said, I lied. Well, listen, I told her I wasn't mad at her. I didn't understand how the fuck it got out there. And quite honestly, I was mad, but I just told her I wasn't. There's no reason to do that. See, here's what I mean, Jesse. And this is just words of advice from a friend, whether you consider me that anymore or not. I mean, technically, I guess we're not anymore. I don't know. But I do have your best intentions at heart, believe that or not. Your best interests at heart. I'm sorry. I don't know. Stop trying to impress these people. Stop worrying about people liking you. Stop worrying about that shit. In the end, here on YouTube, everybody's going to wind up disliking you. All of us. That's just the way it goes. You know how many people hate me? You know how many people I feel like I need to impress? Zero. You know how many people I give a shit about their opinions? Zero. I don't give a fuck. I care about your opinions. You guys, my supporters, my friends, everybody else. You don't like me? Good. I'm probably better off without you. You're doing me a fucking favor. Don't bring yourself around me. You know, the last thing I fucking need is your horse shit, whoever you are. So, but we saw early on, and Jesse, you know, would have to admit to this. Jesse wanted to be close to Angel more than I've ever seen a human being want to be close to another human being. And Angel does have that effect on people. A lot of people want to know and impress Angel. They do. They will fight for her friendship. We've seen it a million times. But as far as I know, at least nothing bad came out of that. Nothing, you know, that one at least. But it's not even about that. It's just that don't worry about impressing. If people are going to like you and be your friend, they're going to like you and be your friend regardless of, you know, what you give them. And Angel wasn't looking for you to come on that panel and do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at her. I don't know. I'm just disappointed with this whole thing. Let me see. What am I getting here? She made a post about Don coming in your chat announcing your mom's passing before you officially did. It wasn't malicious, but unnecessary. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, bro. What'd I just get? Did I shout out my man Gerard, $40? Did I? I feel like I already did. I feel like I looked at it 60 times. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you. Why do I feel like I got something else too? I don't know. All right, so don't send what to who, let what go. What are you talking about, Miss Campiero? Oh, you're talking to Matt. Oh, yeah, no. I don't care to see any of that shit. You know me, man. You guys, even with the stupid shit that's going on now, people are talking shit. I don't give a fuck. There's something I need to know. Like I absolutely need to tell me, you know, but otherwise I'm trying to live with a little bit of peace in my life, especially right now, you know, what's going on. So, I know. She cried on Angel's panel while JT was on panel. Immediately he started taunting. Well, and that's another thing, Jesse. I mean, come on, man. Like I said, I'm trying not to say anything bad, but what are you thinking with this guy? I mean, you don't see the pure evil of this motherfucker. I mean, I think even he would admit to you he's pure evil. There's no boundaries. No boundaries. You know, I mean, why would you associate yourself with somebody like that? And that is, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to be quite honest. That is an attention thing. I think anybody who will give Jessie attention, you know, she will try to, you know, impress and befriend. And I mean, you just got to use some judgment. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Between, you know, I feel like she did that with SoFlo too. I know she's scared of SoFlo. I feel like bringing him on the panel and stuff. And now this, those were the two biggest things. And it's all because you want attention from these people and you want to be their friends. I mean, who gives a fuck about anybody? You know what I mean? I know this ain't really Frankie the Fixer. That's Bernie Sanders. So if this is really Frankie the Fixer, I will have one of my moderators assassinate you. You know, as far as, you know, blocking you, I mean, not in real life. I saw 3 minutes of Jim Terry and I turned it off with a nut job. Yeah. The writing was on the wall. She was stalker so bad. It was in the news. It was in the news. What? FBS deserves a lot of money percent. What do you mean, Sam the Man? What does that mean? Chris, you're right. When you find a true friend for life, that's the best thing there is. Yeah, man. That's why, guys, you don't know how many of my friends I left in the dust. But the two friends I was always closest to since I was a teenager are still my two closest friends and always will be. It's the way it is. You know what I mean? Just the way it is. That's what's up, Pat. You're lucky. Thank you, Jenny Twinkle Toes. I like your name. FBS, you were being protected by your friends. No one told you anything. Well, that's why I love you guys. And it's better off. Because if I would have been told that 2 weeks ago, I probably would have went fucking nuclear. I would have lost my fucking mind. But again, guys, I know how I get. I know I ramble and I go on and on once I get started. If you noticed, I've expressed anger towards her, but I'm not bashing Jessie. I'm not going to do that in any way. We all got love for Jessie. And I'll never want to see anything bad happen to Jessie, no matter what. I don't even really hold any anger towards her. I'm just disappointed, and this has to be done now because, listen, man, this is another thing with fucking friends. You know how many friends drag me into shit I didn't want to be involved in? And this seems to be a constant fucking theme with her. Like it's nonstop lately. And quite honestly, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be friends with anybody who could be friends with Jim Terry. I don't want to be friends with anybody who could be friends with Tony Pizza. You guys know that about me. That's why friendships ended over people insisting on being friends with you know, the scum of the earth. I don't want to put myself around anybody who accepts these people. But especially if I see you going out of your way to be friends with them. Jessie, when you see a person doing that shit to people and their families, you think it's not going to come back around to you at some point? You think, no, he just likes you more? I don't know how you overlooked that stuff for so long. But I know this guy did some despicable shit right in front of your face on a panel or whatever. And nothing. You just defended him. I'm going to tell you the truth. I was disgusted that night. When you were defending Jim Terry and everybody in this chat was telling you, no, you're wrong about him. You know what I mean? I was like, what are you doing? Why is she doing this? You don't even know this guy from Adam. And what happened in the end, it's not your problem now, Jessie. It's my problem. That's how it always happens with me and my friends. You skate and I pay the fucking price. That's how it works. That's why I don't make no new friends. And I suggest nobody else does either. Angel, same to you. Stop making new friends. Get rid of the old ones if you want, but stop making new ones. It never works out, goddamn. I learned this lesson a long fucking time ago. Holy shit. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, and nobody's going to, you know, defend me or fight alongside of me in whatever beef I might or may or may not be involved in now or later, you know. So I don't know, man. You're gonna bring trouble my way and then not have my back. Yeah, well, we gotta part ways. Yeah, I know. Sonny Grosso, what the fuck are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about, and why in the fuck, Sonny, would you ever even tell me about something like that? Like, why would you even come in here with that bullshit? Sonny, what are you doing to me? Sonny, what are you fucking, what are you pissed off at me now? What are you doing? The fuck is that? What in the fuck is wrong with Sonny today? Sonny, did you lose your marbles, bro? No, of course not. Oh, is that what the call was over, Angel? I didn't even know that. What's up, Gino Cappuccino? Yeah, I know, Gerard. You always tell me. I take a little offense to it, but it's all right. Jesse kept saying that she was being iced out by people because she was with Angel. It never was about Angel. She kept telling Angel we don't like her. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's another thing. Yeah. Oh, look, I got 222 people. That's my last bunk number in the county. 222. I remember, hearing somebody sent me a clip of her doing that. And it had nothing to do with Angel. I have no problem with Angel. None. Angel can come in here right now for all I give a fuck. I don't care. It was not that, Jesse. It was like little by little, you were stabbing us all in the back. And it just became too much, Like, listen, man, if you got a friend on here, and that friend is usually me, okay? A guy who's really, really good to you and wants to see you do well and tries to help you and everything else. And then you do even the slightest thing to betray them. All the other people are going to see that. Not just your friends, but your enemies too, and everybody. And then nobody's ever going to trust you. So yeah, it had nothing to do with Angel. Nobody over here gives a shit who's friends with Angel. You know what I mean? Unless she becomes friends with MRE again, then it's on. Yeah, Antonino, you need to stick around, bro. Look what happens when you leave. Yeah, well, that's probably an old one. Yeah, I shouted you out, Gerard. My bad. It took so long. I'm fucking lost in space here right now. How did Pizza know my name if he doesn't watch his? What? If he doesn't watch his? If he doesn't watch? Because he does watch. He's full of shit. Yeah, Jersey girl. I know, man. I don't know what's going on with Jesse, but I wish her the best. I really don't wish her any harm in life. I don't. Oh, before she talked to me. Oh, okay. She made a community post saying she wanted to bring it out that way, and she distanced herself from you, saying, I'm a friend of the FBI show. So she wouldn't want to bring it out that way. Well, that's fucked up. What the fuck is that, bro? Fear of showers? A blutophobia? Is that how you say that? A blutophobia. Wow, interesting. She made a community post berating Don Berlin for announcing this so publicly, then went to Channel Show to talk about it to a huge crowd, making it more public. You're serious? She berated Don Berlin? Jesse, are you getting high? What do you mean? Why would she do that? Angel's charismatic. FBS JT Camp think Jesse has been a mod for Angel since the beginning. Oh, no, hell no. No, not even close. They just became friendly not that long ago. Maybe, I'm going to say it's a year ago, if that. No, I did. Where I read your thing, bro. I don't know if you want me to say that. I don't know. It's up to you. I otherwise keep it private. But yeah, I know. Yeah. It is true. It is true. I guess so. I mean, this guy Jim comes with a lot of people. You know, apparently he's got a lot of subscribers, and stuff like that. He makes money, I guess. You know, whatever. So people do see that, and then they want a piece of it. You know, Jesse, listen, man. Let me tell you one thing I learned about this whole thing, and this is the honest to God truth, and anybody will tell you the same thing. When it comes to MobTube or any other tube, Lee Cole used to say he has the it factor. He used to say it about himself, and he used to say it about me. Now, listen, there is, to some extent, it's true. You're either going to be good at this or you're not going to be good at it. And I'm not saying you're not good at it, Jesse. I'm just saying that after a long time, you know, you kind of stayed, you know, stagnant, I guess, you know, same amount of viewers and stuff. And people are either going to love your channel or they're not going to be that interested, you know, or they're just going to completely hate it. I don't know. But if your channel doesn't get built up as FBS's friend, it ain't going to get built up as Jim Terry's friend or Tony Soflo's friend or anyone else's friend. It's just not. You know, you're either going to succeed at this or you're not going to succeed at it. That's all. As far as her, you know, doing the members only without building their channel up, listen, this ain't even about her. This is about people in general. It is straight up goofy when somebody starts a channel and immediately starts asking for donations. That is strange as a motherfucker. And of course, if you don't have a lot of people, doing members only is goofy. You know what I mean? Because then what are you doing a members only show for? 5 people? Like, a lot of people have done this. I know a lot of people who they started doing their show. And guys, I paid my dues a little bit, at least. Not that much, but I did probably 50 fucking uploaded videos before I ever did a live stream and actually got any money out of it. You know what I mean? And even then, if you guys remember, there's still the show. It's still on my channel. I was live. Lee Cole was on the channel, and Lee Cole said, you got to turn on your super chats. And I said, no, fuck that. I said, I don't feel right about that. I didn't even want to do it. And he was like, no, dude, that's where you get all your money, dude. I was like, all right. And I did it. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. That was good advice. But even, you know, I took a while. People think now you just start a channel. You got to give people something first. I was getting like between 4,000 and 8,000 views per upload. You know what I mean? On my videos. Go back and check the views on my earliest videos. That's not live streams. So I blew up fast. I got monetized in 12 fucking days. You know, so I had already proven myself and proven that I can fucking provide you with some entertainment one way or another. And then it's like, okay, yeah, if you want to donate, absolutely. But you got to give people something first. You know, you got to sometimes listen back to your own shows too. Guys, that's why I told you, I will always, when I give you a shitty show, I will always tell you the same thing. This show sucked. You don't even have to worry about donating. I don't deserve it. But when I did give you a good show like this one, you should donate. Antonino. You said, I'm reading it for the people who are just listening. I guess I should let everyone know I'll be on Angel's panel tonight. I'll be announcing FBS's medical results. It's all right, Anthony. You know, it's you. It's okay. When she first came around and had the hate for GS, and I was coming in and out back then, she was a little rude to me. I didn't like him like that. I don't like him like that, just a friend. Oh, insinuating something else was going on, or you were attempting something else. At the end of the day, the one thing that's positive we can take from this is you have a bunch of people that are very protective over you. I think she is just a poor decision maker. But listen, man, I am the luckiest motherfucker on here as far as I'm concerned. You guys, without you guys, shit. And I have none of this. You know what I mean? And you guys give me peace of mind, and I know I could always count on you, no doubt. And I appreciate you being protective, you know, as knowing, as far as knowing not what to show me and stuff like that. But she is, I'll be honest, Jessie makes poor decisions. She does. Maybe, Bobby, I don't know. JT has all the characteristics a typical scumbag has. Well, yeah. No, I know Jersey girl. Basically disappointed in her too. Yeah. But I don't want to listen. I feel bad for this because you don't know. It literally took me all day. I spoke to many people before I did this because I didn't even know if I wanted to do it. I don't in any way, shape, or form want to hurt Jessie or make Jessie think that we hate her or any fucking thing. You know, I don't want her to feel insulted. I hope that, you know, she can do what nobody else but me on MobTube does and say, okay, well, I made some bad decisions. I can't be mad at anybody for being a little mad at me. You know, maybe I'll take a break or whatever. You know, I'll switch up how I do things, something like that. But Jessie, understand that this took a long time. I mean, you had SoFlo on your show when he was trashing my family. I mean, that was fucking, you know me. I could never let that go, nor should I. So that shit really fucking bothered me, man. Really bothered me. And SoFlo knew it was going to, by the way. For everyone breaking private news about you, too, if you go to war for your boy Frank, bags of money, bags, take a nice trip to Florida. Oh, you mean with this dude? Well, no, I already stood up for Frank. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll see about this guy. I wasn't even thinking about that dude today. I had this on my mind. You know what I mean? I got the general gist of what went on last night. I don't give a fuck. I had this on my mind, and I was getting tattooed for 3 hours, and then I was just all over the place after that. I was all over the place, and I attempted to go skating, and when I got to the skate park, I was like, you know what, fuck it. It was still 90 degrees. This was only a couple of hours ago. I was like, you know what? As bad as I wanted to skate a little bit, I was like, no, I could wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow to be 79 degrees. Boom. She said, not feeling safe in FBS's chat, so I went out of my way to make sure she wouldn't see it by blocking her. Oh. Yeah, it always does. I remember the night she was talking to Angel about how everybody's like turning her back on her because she's friends with Angel. And Angel said, well, does FBS have a problem with you for being friends with me or something? And she said, no. And just Angel was like, well, what are you worried about then? Good. Yeah. I mean, you know, it had nothing to do with Angel. I don't care. Listen. I limit my hatred and anger for people who are currently or have in the past viciously, trashed my fucking family. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about something where we're both going back and forth and saying crazy shit for a while, but people that no matter what the fuck I'm doing, no matter how mild or how severe it may be, your fucking first move is to go after my family and you just insist on doing it. You know, otherwise I don't care about. Like, at least not with her, for example, with Angel. It doesn't even make sense to still be mad. So I'm not worried about that. Me and Angel have apologized to each other and all that shit anyway, long time ago. I mean, I don't know how she could think that being friends with that kid could have any kind of positive result. You don't have to hate that guy, but why ingratiate yourself? Yeah, it's just like, listen, you saw what I did, right? I just stayed as far away from him as possible. I said, I don't want no parts of this dude. That's all. Because I got enough people like that on here. You know, people can't fight like men, so boom, you know, they go to the family shit. It's like, what's the point of even fighting with you? Now I got to attack your family. Great, wonderful. And then we just go back and forth with that. It's dumb. You know, I like to fight with people who are supposed to be men, like men fight. You know, we could do it verbally or we could do it physically. You know what I'm saying? But when you got to go to the family, I mean, that's just coward shit. So that's why you'll never see me do it first. Second, yeah, not first. I think she does too. I'll be honest. I do. I think she does too. I think she likes the drama. It's like I always say to everybody, you will eventually be involved in drama. You just will. It's going to happen. Why? Because it's MobTube. I remember when I used to talk to Eric in the beginning, Eric used to be like, I don't want no parts of any of this YouTube beef bullshit. You know what I mean? I think he was on probation at the time too, and that's why. But I don't blame him. Or parole, my bad. Or supervised release, whatever the fuck he was on. But I remember thinking to myself, yet. Somehow you always get caught up in it, no matter who you are. It fucking happens. Because you can't be on here and do anything without people attacking you. You know what I mean? And when you see how people start to respond, when you see that you could talk about 8 million different things and nobody will take even the slightest bit of interest compared to when you're fighting with people, you're like, okay, well, that's what I'll do then. Especially when you're doing it for money. Exactly, Jersey Girl. No, yeah, but Sonny, no, you're a good guy, bro. I just don't stuff like that they do. I don't care about that shit. You don't have to tell me. Matter of fact, I'd rather not know, unless it's something where my family's being threatened or there's something bad enough that I need to know. But dumb shit like that, this is what Tony Pizza does every day. Same type of shit. I take it back. Jim Terry, I guess, is a little more creative than Tony Pizza. So what? You know what I mean? I'll decide what I'm going to do about that. Don't worry. But it wasn't even on my mind today. Is that who that is? Ace Ventura? I don't even know. Show Sonny. When you do that, listen, this is another reason I don't sweat it. When I could sit here and go at you and embarrass you for a day or two, and I don't have to mention your family, but then when you come back at me, the first thing you have to do is mention my family. I already won. Because you just showed everybody I can't hang with FBS. There's no fucking way. So let me just try to attack his family. And you'd be right, Jim. You can't. So that's what you have to do. I'm fully aware. I've dealt with a ton of pussies on here. Bobby Berberian, member for 33 months. Thank you, brother. Miss Can't Be Wrong, member for 33 months. Thank you, sister. Jersey Girl. She most definitely tried to ice me in the very beginning of her coming in this chat, more so to put a wedge between me and Miss Can't Be Wrong. Other people noticed it and said something to me about it. Well, yeah, I don't know. Charlie, why ask? Miss Can't Be Wrong is friends with Jesse. You know what I mean? So she implied to Angel that the people of FBS chat stopped going to the treehouse because of Angel. We're called the other side. That's planting some poisonous seed. See, that's not good, man. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not good. That's not cool. We're the other side. No. We're the side. Everybody else is the other side, Jesse. Ryan Morrison, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. She keeps saying she got sucked into this situation. Just poor judgment. No. You can't associate with certain people, and then when shit happens with those people, say you got sucked into it. It's ultimately your fault. Jesse, you're going to tell me you didn't know, you didn't hear fucking Jim Terry talking about, just saying the most vicious, fucking disgusting things about people, including yourself, and then read what everybody else read about this man. You didn't know all that shit about him before you decided to be his friend, during your friendship with him. It never occurred to you this is a bad guy. Tony Pizza's like fucking the Pope compared to fucking this dickhead. Okay, so I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I know it's nothing crazy. It couldn't have been. Madam comment or reply to comment FBS is reading saying that she reread. Oh yeah. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie, dude. The Lee Cole is no idiot when it comes to the algorithm of YouTube. That's one thing he knows. He always knew it a hell of a lot better than me. I've been on here 4 goddamn years and I still haven't figured it out. Yeah. Listen, guys, I know people want to do stupid shit and they feel like, they're going to get to me somehow. People can talk shit about but they can do whatever the fuck they want. My mom passed, okay? This is something you guys know I've been dreading my whole life. I'm as hurt as can be, okay? There's none of this bullshit is going to add too much to that stress. I assure you of that. You know what I mean? So everybody should just follow one fucking rule. Keep your mouth shut and don't post things regarding other content creators' personal life unless they give you the go-ahead. That's it. Yeah. Let me just see something real quick. Now, I know what Jim did last night. The question is now, if I go ham on Susan, is Jim going to be another victim of FBS or will he say, well, I went after his mom first? It's out of curiosity. I'm just wondering. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, how did I not? Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Kellyanne, Chris, we told her months ago what JT said about me. She didn't care, then got pissed when we stayed away. Kellyanne, $40. Thank you, Kellyanne. Yeah, well, I didn't know exactly that, but I knew something had happened. That's what I mean, it's Kellyanne's an awesome person, you don't want to do that to her. And Jesse, what you're going to find out is that Jim Terry, he doesn't give a flying fuck about you. None of those people do. You know what I'm saying? Angel might be the only one that might actually care about you because, even she's defending you like as we speak. She feels guilty for all this. So did you just say general gist? General gist. I know you meant in general, but it sounded like genital. No, general, the general gist. Genital gist. That sounds like a severe STD. Stay away from that bitch. She got general gist or genital gists. Chris, could you recommend someone who does portrait tattoos? I wish. I can't even find somebody who could do good portraits. I got a guy who I think is good, but when it comes to portraits, I don't even take the chance. Very few tattoo artists can do really good portraits. So when you find somebody with a really good portrait tattoo, find out who the fuck did it. Oh, thank you, Pat. I went with a traditional tattoo. That I don't do traditional tattoos. All of mine are like, unique to me, or at least, somewhat like, even if it's a common type of tattoo, I'll get a different design. I'll get somebody to draw up a different design, hoping that, it's one of a kind. But all my tattoos mean something, you know what I'm saying? This is a traditional, and I did it that way, for a reason. I chose to do a traditional. There's a lot of reasons, actually. There's a lot of symbolism in that tattoo, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But yeah. Oh, hell, Pat, you kidding me, bro? You know how many years I spent just watching ESPN Classic, watching all his old fights and shit? I've read every book on him and fucking, yeah, man. Greatest athlete of all time, in my opinion. Oh, that's a shame. I don't like to hear that. What is this? Emma gonorrhea? What was that supposed to say? And if that's supposed to be gonorrhea, it's not how gonorrhea is spelled. The Ima gonorrhea. I don't fucking know. Whatever you said. Even if you take the Ima part away, it's not how gonorrhea is spelled. But I don't know. D. Gainey, member for 15 months. Bobby Barbarian and Miss Can't Be Wrong, you losers, and you're 33 months. Just kidding. Thank you, D. Gainey. 15 is good too, brother. No, I understand, Kira. No, Ryan, she's not. No. At one time, she was one of my biggest supporters, but I'm not going hard on her at all. I'm doing what I do, but Jesse knows. I mean, have you guys ever heard me separate from somebody like this? No. No. I go complete ape shit generally. So, you know. I wish her well. Yeah, me too, definitely. I want to see nothing bad happen to Jesse. Angel gave Jesse support and a place to feel comfortable. Angel didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. Yeah, no, she didn't. She didn't. All right, guys, I got to get going. I appreciate you being here. An hour and 40 minutes. I'm fucked. Shanna's going to kick me through a wall. Holy Christ, oh fucking mighty. Oh, yeah. Is he really? I assumed, Michael, but yeah, you definitely live in his hometown. Yep. I heard he used to go out with the kids from the neighborhood in Louisville. I know I pronounced that wrong or whatever, but they would come around and he would come outside and shadow box with them and fuck around with them, hit the bag and shit. All right, guys, I got to get going. Thank you to everybody who donated. I appreciate you very, very much. I'm going to get going. I'm going to go spend the night with my beautiful wifey, and then I will see you guys at the movies. No, I'll see you tomorrow at some point. All right. I love you all. And until next time, salute.